Well, folks, thank you so much. Really appreciate you taking some time with us this evening to join us on our UnFranchise Business presentation with Market America and Shop.com. Very excited for this evening. We have a wonderful presenter for us, Cullen Haskins, who has become a great mentor to me. He is a friend, and he is a director with Market America, which means he has earned in excess of $18,000 in a 4-week pay cycle. Just let that roll in your mind a few minutes. Comes from such humble beginnings, and he has stayed the same way even throughout all of his success. So we have such a genuine person being our presenter this evening, and he's also a member of the $1 Million Club, and he is also the regional director for the Southeast region in Market America. And Cullen, thank you so much for taking a few minutes with us to share with us the UnFranchise presentation. We truly are blessed. Some can call it luck, but I call it we are blessed to have you here with us this evening. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to you. And sit tight, guys. Strap in. It's going to be a great half hour for you.
Well, thank you so much, Jason. Great job on introducing, putting that all together. Jason's making things happen in Southwest Florida, him and his team. And of course, he's got a team growing across the country. So congratulations on all of your success. And I want to thank all of you for joining us on the line tonight, especially if you're a guest. Thank you for trusting the person who invited you and therefore trusting us with your time tonight. I know there's a lot of different things you could be doing with your time, but I believe anytime you are investing your time into learning about how you can generate an ongoing income stream, and especially in today's world, leveraging this little internet thing, which I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's catching on pretty hot right now, then you're in the right place at the right time. And so like Jason mentioned, Trinity and I got started with the UnFranchise when we were 24 years old. We had 5 kids, all under the age of 7. And I was working as a maintenance guy, love fixing things, working with my hands, certified HVAC, working with heating and air conditioning systems within a pharmaceutical facility. But I was like jack of all, master of none, loved what I did. But I did not like working 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day, and having someone else be in control of our time. And, when I found out that my dad had lost 3/4 of his 401k in the market when it dumped back in the late 90s, my whole mindset shifted on where I was going, what I was doing with my life, and what my goals were. And I got introduced to the idea of creating an ongoing income stream. And I actually read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by a guy named Robert Kiyosaki. And that literally shifted my whole mindset. As a matter of fact, it brought up all kinds of questions that I had about creating an ongoing income, building a business for myself. How come I didn't learn about these things in school? I don't remember that class in junior high or high school. As a matter of fact, I was just taught to go out and get a job and work hard, and that's what I was doing. And there's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, if you're somebody who's already working really, really hard and burning the candle at both ends and making things happen in your life, congratulations, you're going after it. But you might have to just reprioritize some of your time. That's all Trinity and I chose to do, building this UnFranchise. And 2 years later, we're full-time with this business system, and we've been full-time parents, raising our kids, just working this business system for over almost 20 years now. And so I'm going to share some information with you. If this is your first, second, third time, hopefully it's not your first time, but if it is, it's going to be a lot of information. Just take some notes, sit back, relax. No decision to make at the end of the presentation tonight. It's just taking information in and looking at it from an educational standpoint and asking yourself, do I see a possibility for me to earn some additional income on top of what I'm already currently doing in my life by leveraging a vehicle called Market America Shop.com. And we provide a proven system for people just like you and me and Jason and other people on the line with us here tonight to create an ongoing income. So therefore we can generate some leverage into our life. And look, there's a rapidly changing economy, and this happened. This has been happening over the last few years, but even more rapidly changing over this year, of course. But the retail store collapse, the writing's on the wall with that happening all the time. I don't think any of us get excited about stores closing. I don't want to see anybody fail. I don't want to see any of you fail in your life. However, we have to be able to move with the marketplace. And so, of course, the online sales are on the rise. And one-to-one marketing, this is the key here. If you're really focused in here, one-to-one marketing is replacing mass marketing. You know, people love to buy, but they hate to be sold. And with the information age leveraging the internet, this is why we see a huge rise of online sales taking place. And so we are the UnFranchise Business. We are, excuse me, we are like a franchise, and that we are systemized, standardized, uniform. We have state-of-the-art management systems and tools. So therefore, and this is really the key for me, you guys, this right here, tools. If you can provide me a tool to put in my toolbox, whether it be a physical tool or a virtual tool, and just tell me step by step how to do something, then I will be the most coachable person that you have ever worked with. And that is exactly what this business system provides, just like the franchise, of course. And we are unlike a franchise in that there's no franchise fees, no royalties to pay, no territorial restrictions. Tax advantages are huge. Anytime you're in business for yourself, definitely want to look into that. On what are the tax advantages to becoming an entrepreneur and providing value in the marketplace for everybody. And so there's no large monthly overhead, no territory restrictions. I already mentioned that. Startup is part-time, 10 hours a week. The reality is did my wife and I have an extra 10 hours a week? Well, when we first thought about it, it's like, no, are you kidding? No, like we're so busy. But we quickly prioritized our time a little differently and allocated some time to this business because it was going to provide us with something that our job situation was never going to provide us with. And that's some time freedom, for more time. As much as I love my job, I love my family more, and I wanted to spend more time with my family, not less. And there, don't get me wrong, there was days that, you know, like I want to be home with my kids. And there was other days I wanted to get away from the kids, right? The system provides both, which is really exciting. The company was founded in 1992, actually by J.R. and Lauren Reitinger out of North Carolina. And JR was a biologist by trade. He almost died at sea on an expedition off the east coast of the US, decided he didn't want to do that anymore. But he was really, 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 really smart in trying to figure out, you know, business and what's working and what's not working. And how can we put a system together for the average Joe Cullen Haskins working in a factory, South Chicago, to make some money. That impressed me. I got really excited about it. As you can see, we have operations in all of those countries on the screen there, but we're really proud that in 2013 and 18, we received the Torch Award for trust, performance, and integrity. And if you're anything like my wife and I, those three things need to be in alignment for me to even continue an evaluation on any kind of business that we would be considering. And of course, after 28 years in business, we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Look, you can look at a lot of Fortune 50 companies that you probably are spending your money at on a weekly basis that do not have A+ ratings with the Better Business Bureau. So again, trust, performance, integrity, doing right by your customers, getting customers results on products and services. This is what it takes, ladies and gentlemen. So as you can see here, we've done over 9.6 billion in accumulated retail sales. So for those of you evaluating our business system, what does that tell you? That tells you that our products and services must work at this point. I mean, billion is a lot of money. 9.6 billion is a real lot of money, right? And most important thing though, out of the 9.6, we've paid back over 5 billion in earnings to unfranchised owners. And when you look at this graph, what's really important is to see how it just continues to climb and climb and climb and climb and climb. And notably, if you look here, when we had that last reset in the economy and the real estate market dumped and things got a little bit crazy for everybody, as you can see, our company continued to grow because of the products and services and opportunity that we offer everybody. And the same thing is happening right now. We are totally exploding and having a ton of fun in the process by blessing and serving other people. Like you heard Jason saying in the beginning, how many people can we help? That's really the goal of what we're about. Now, I want to talk briefly about the 45-year plan. This is what my parents subscribed to. You know, they worked the best years of their life working as an employee for someone else. And at the time of retirement, they found themselves by default as an employee in the bottom 95%. In other words, they were still working because what? They would be financially struggling, okay, if they tried to retire. And of course, thank goodness they weren't in this category. I don't think anybody wants to be in that category too early, right? But the goal is what? We want to work our way into the top 5% and become financially fit. Well, how do we get to the top 5%? Well, 4 out of 5 got there by being their own boss, by being a business owner. So I was like, okay, well, great. I'm going the right direction. But they also have a business that has leverage, meaning that they don't have to show up all the time. They trust the people that work for them, and they all rock it out. And so they have leverage. And so you take care of your people that work for you, and they take care of you, and it's a win-win both ways. Do people have debt in our economy right now? You bet they do. And financial security, this was my father. My father was trying to amass a large sum of money over a long period of time. And you would have to amass about $600,000 invested at 2% interest to guarantee you that you wanted to get to an extra $1,000 a month off of the interest. So your money would then therefore be working hard for you. That's a lot of people's long-term goal, probably your goal that's on the line here. And I still recommend that you go this direction. We always need our money working for us, but the challenge is we make more money and we spend more money. This is what most people do. And so then you're trying to figure out like, well, how can I invest? I'm trying to pay the bills and Trinity and I know with like 5 kids, man, there's always something happen. It feels like, so the second way is like own your own business and create a business system, plug into a business system that's already been created, do what others have been done before you to generate the same kind of ongoing income, but it does not require that kind of investment. See, that excited me. I didn't want to wait 20 to 40 years to find out whether or not I was going to be able to retire or what, how well was I doing or whatever. And of course, a lot of people are relying on Social Security. And is that the answer? I mean, Social Security was never designed or created to be someone's primary source of income. It was a supplemental thing. But in today's world, it really is everybody's, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people, okay, 65% statistically, according to the socialsecurity.gov website, it's their primary source of income. And so we got to come up with a way, you guys, a better way. And what we offer is the 2 to 3 year plan. And I'm sure already you would agree with me that 45 years or 2 to 3 years, which sounds better to you? For me, that excited me. Here's what really excited me was I had been introduced to a lot of businesses before I got introduced to this one. And they were never putting really a time frame on it as far as a realistic time frame. Let's put it that way. It was like make 6 figures in 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months even. Like, drive this Ferrari, live in this fancy house, And I don't have anything against nice things, okay? However, I wasn't the guy who was just going to get excited like, woohoo, without running some numbers. And what impressed me about this company back then and still today is that we're being real with people and letting people know that it's going to take a little time to develop an ongoing income. Now, it's not 2 to 3 years to make a commission check with our company, but it's 2 to 3 years to build it up to a significant income level where you could leave your job if you choose to, but you could stay at your job if you choose to and just build up a secondary income that matches your job income. And now you have choice, more choices in your life. That to me is what it's all about. Trinity and I were looking for time freedom. Which of these would interest you the most? Which would get you? All of it looks, pretty exciting, but you get to pick. See, great news about living in America is everybody gets to pick. What do you really want more of in your life? And what do you want less of in your life? And then follow a system in order to get there and generate the ongoing income, of course, in order to get us to the time freedom. We are a product brokerage and internet marketing company. We have hundreds of exclusive products. We have thousands of partner stores on our website. It costs zero money. So to register as a customer and the person's website who invited you on the line here, which I highly recommend you do, make sure you get with them and they'll give you their website address. It costs no money. It's free. So if we can help you save money, but most importantly, get high quality products, even if it was an exchange of this supplement to our supplement, it was the same amount of money. Let's say it was the same, but it was a better quality and you actually could feel the difference, feel the results. Wouldn't you want to give ours a shot? Right? That's the whole point. All of our divisions within our company are billion-dollar markets. And so therefore we are building what's called a shopping annuity. And what does this mean? We are really taking money that you are spending anyways and helping you earn off of money you would be spending anyways. And of course, our system tracks 100% credit for those purchases in order to give our customers cash back. But of course, on franchise owners, we all earn commissions off of sales that are taking place, which of course is very exciting. So this is the hardest decision of tonight's presentation, folks, would you pick the 45? Let's say they both don't work. I mean, we know for the 45-year plan, it's not working for 95% of the people statistically, okay? But let's say they both didn't work. Which one would you try first? And, me at 24, me today at, 44, I'm almost 45, I'm getting up there, right? But I would still choose the 2 to 3 because I would want to know in the next 2 to 3 if I've got to go do something different in my life. I don't want to end up like my parents, work 45 years to find out I got to go get another job. See, that's not appealing. But let's say they both worked. Which would you try first? And of course, I would try the 2 to 3 year plan. Now, here's what's great. The great news is this. Keep doing what you're already doing within the 45-year plan. Nothing wrong with, crush it, rock it out. Simplify your life, live on less, save more money so you can invest it, but then also invest it in your own business, the 2 to 3 year plan. Do both. That's what successful people say, by the way. I had to learn this lesson in my mid-20s. Successful people don't like to choose one or the other. We want to choose both. So how about I just do both and become successful at both? But in 2 to 3 years, I know I have choices. And again, continue to work because you choose to, but not because you have to. That's powerful, folks. And so the success of, this is our disclaimer here. So the success of any Market America franchise will depend on what? Some work. It's going to take effort. It's going to look, if you're going to start a traditional brick and mortar tomorrow or your own online business, affiliate marketing company, everything our company provides, if you were to go do that tomorrow, guess what you would have to do? You'd have to open the old Yapper. You'd have to be an awesome listener of what customers are looking for. And then you would source and supply products to people, which is exactly what our system provides. Our company provides all of the hard stuff, all of the stuff that would give me an excruciating headache and a migraine. The company handles all of that. I just have to do what any successful entrepreneur would have to do, which is network the business in my community. And of course, today online, so huge in order to generate an ongoing income with products based on reorders from satisfied customers. That's where it's at, folks. Reorders from satisfied customers. So there's 5 steps to building a successful franchise. We're going to go through these individually. First step is apply. Somebody can come on as a sales rep, which is free. It doesn't cost anything. However, you only get access to wholesale to retail on the product, and you have access to our training system, but you don't have access to our websites that an unfranchised owner gets, and you don't get the residual income from the commissionable plan. So for me, it doesn't even make sense to be a sales rep. If that interests you to not have to really run a business, then my advice would be don't run a business. Just be a customer, which is free. Same thing on the person's website who invited you on the line here tonight. But if you want to build an ongoing income, then you want to check out becoming an unfranchised owner. And the subscription fee for that is $129.95. But as you can see, you get everything checked off over here. So not only do we get a shop.com website, we get 8 additional websites as well from the different divisions that we offer. We have a whole online accounting management report systems like our virtual accountant, to manage my team and manage all of our sales and our customers is pretty slick. And then also we can participate in the leveraged ongoing income. And of course, you're going to also earn retail profit as an unfranchised owner. But you're also going to get a manual. This is our unfranchised manual, same manual you would get if you were investing in a Subway sandwich shop, let's say. This is like a 300-page manual, step-by-step how to run your unfranchised business. Now, that's super awesome. For me personally, though, I was really busy working 12 hours a day at my job. So I'm like, do you have Cliff Notes? Is anyone a fan of Cliff Notes? I was like, the Cliff Notes were the getting started guide. How about give me like a 10, 12-page pamphlet, check off the boxes. If I check off the boxes in my 10 hours a week, which means I'm showing up to work, I should expect to get paid. If I don't check off the boxes and I'm not doing what other successful entrepreneurs have been known to do in the history of the world and business, which is show up and do the work, right? I should expect not to get paid. That impressed me. Okay. We also have an incredible training system, and we have coaching and mentoring by experienced unfranchised owners who have a vested interest in helping you become successful. That was appealing to me as well. Look, if I was going to start a landscape and lawn care company in South Chicago, I can't go to the guy in town who has all the accounts in town and say, Fast Ready, that was his name. Tell me how to do it. Tell me how to take you out, bro. You'd be like, move on, kid. I'd have to figure it out on my own. With this, the person who invited you has a vested interest in helping you become successful in business. Fantastic. So that was step one. We applied. Step two is we're going to create business volume. Now, business volume is the unit value assigned, a point value assigned to all of our products that are exclusive to us to calculate commissions. BV is also step two, it's also creating customers. So we create customers, and from customers, we're going to generate two things. We're going to generate retail profit, RP, retail profit, and BV, okay, on this slide, which both turn into what? Money. Okay, so we get paid off of the retail profit. That's the first way we get paid, wholesale to retail, okay? Distributor costs to what I sell it for. And the second way we get paid is off the points, which I will get to in a few more slides. But all of these divisions in our company, again, are billion-dollar market. No one says today, like, I wonder if I'd be able to sell a supplement. Are you serious? Over 50%, close to 70% of the people that you already know and love are already buying supplements somewhere anyways from somebody, whether it's a brick and mortar store or online anyways. So all we had to do, my wife and I, was identify 10 customers, okay? C stands for customers. So 10 customers who wanted to transfer their dollars from GNC and put it in Cullen Haskins and Trinity Haskins, Hip National Bank. And they were okay with it because our products were a great quality, which produced the results that they were looking for, which made them lifelong customers. Here it is over 20 years later. So weight management, is that $1 billion market? You betcha. And of course, what I love about health and nutrition and weight management is it's heart-centered, okay? Heart-centered. The next division is, personal care. Are our hair care and all that products amazing? Absolutely. But no one's ever come back to me a couple of weeks later and says, oh my gosh, you've completely transformed my life forever. Forever. Like, that's never happened. However, with nutrition and weight management and those working synergistically, we have changed people's lives forever. And when that happens, they of course would love to buy the shampoo as an add-on. Because if our first products change their life forever, then of course they're going to use the shampoo and the conditioner and the hair gel and all of that, okay? We have anti-aging products. And then we go all the way to the other end of the spectrum and we go to baby and children's care products. Again, all billion-dollar markets. We just launched a jewelry line about 7 months ago. That's rocking. And then we have a cosmetic division. Motives Cosmetics is the #1 followed cosmetic line on Instagram. Now, the cosmetics might not have been my cup of tea. Well, it's probably a good guess. It wasn't my cup of tea. However, it's $1 billion market. Did my wife and I know other people, women or men, who love cosmetics? Okay, so simple. We just led them to the division. They got the training. They sell the products and they got paid. This is what they were excited about. So ask yourself, who do I know? If the product's that great, who do I know that would be excited about selling cosmetics? Who do I know that would be more on the techie side and more on the B2B side? We call this B2B. So internet services is all about selling websites to small to medium-sized business owners, but not just websites, a whole digital marketing platform and social media marketing. And I mean, our company does it all. And we partnered with an incredible company because, again, we're a broker. We don't manufacture any of these products or divisions. Okay, we identified companies that are already amazing at this stuff. And so this is B2B. This is working with business owners. Entertainment, because $1 billion market. Skincare for men and for women, as you can see. Again, great add-on sale. Simple. Cleaning products. Cleaning products are fantastic, but again, I don't lead with that. It's a great add-on. And then of course we have pet health. I mean, most people spend more money on their pets than they do themselves in most cases. So we've got a couple incredible pet supplement products within that line, which are awesome. AutoWorks. And then we have a division called within financial services called Shop Financial, which is an interest debt elimination software program where we're helping people pay off debt quicker, which is very, very exciting. But what's also really exciting is coming soon. So what's hot today may not be hot tomorrow, or it may be. But either way, we're going to stick with what's hot, keep those products, in the umbrella, but then we're going to always have add-ons that are new hot products. Also, as we're creating customers, we're also going to generate internet business volume. And internet business volume is the point value associated with all of our partner stores. So that goes from the Home Depot, Walmart, traveling, starting to pick up again, which is exciting. Bass Pro Shop for all the ladies on the line, right? We can't leave you guys out. With the holidays coming up, you got to be thinking about where we're going to be shopping for significant others, of course. Bed Bath & Beyond, Groupon, Unit. We got it all, right? These are stores you shop at anyways. As a customer, would you shop at these stores if you were going to earn, 1%, 5% cash back, 2% cash back, and savings? Well, if it was going to save you money on stores you shop at anyways, of course you would shop at these stores. Just link through the person's website who is inviting you on the line, save the money on these. But I would challenge you to then go back and look at our exclusive brands and fill out what's called a home shopping list with the person who invited you on. And that'll identify some of our brands that you probably maybe have never heard of because it's not at Walmart. It's not at these big box stores. And then let's find out where we can get you some incredible results. And so we're going to leverage the internet. We're going to leverage Shop Buddy tool in order to save you money. And I would highly recommend, we also have our own white labeled products within our shopping annuity brand division. And then also trial size marketing. So get with the person who invited you and say, Cullen mentioned something about some app where you can send me some trial sizes. And so you want to check it out, and they'll send you, some information using this application. It's incredible. We just launched it a couple of weeks ago. Let them test it out on you at the very least, just so both sides can see how great this is about communicating and educating for our customers, which is where it's at. So now we've applied to be in business. Step 2 is we created customers. We created sales. As we create sales, we're now going to move into step 3, which is qualify our business. We're going to do that by qualifying with 200 BV. Now, 200 BV can be anywhere from $250 to $280 worth of our products that then would translate into about 200 BV. It just varies depending upon the division where you're getting the products from. Most people get started with a fast start kit and they pick this top left one. Most people. Other people have a passion in a specific division. Well, we offer 4 of these. So it could be the cosmetic division that's your cup of tea, and you could be pumped about that. It could be our weight management system, which is really cranking things up and being one of the top divisions within our company. Or it could be the web solutions, the B2B division working with business owners, but we still send you a sampling of some of our products. And so what's great about this, you guys, is that it's $429.95. We waive the $129.95. It's included in the $429.95. But if you were to come into the company and buy everything a la carte, this would be right around $480 is what somebody would be spending. Okay. So is it a marketing technique to help you save money to become a business owner? It is. But is it a money saver in the same process? It is. Our company wants people to, want to be entrepreneurs and want something better in your life in order to go bigger and better, right? However, if you wanted to order things a la carte, of course, you could choose to do so. All great either way. Now we're going to move into step 4, which is activating your business. And this is where I get super, super excited. I get excited about one of the top divisions of our company, which I haven't been able to talk about yet, and that is our money store. I get excited about financial freedom and helping people earn an extra $300 to $1,000 a month, helping people earn an extra $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, and whatever your goals are, your goals. Fantastic. But I love helping people with that. So we have to identify who are the entrepreneurs that we know who would want to be in business for themselves. And so what we're going to do is we might go out with you and talk to 10, 20 people in the next 2 weeks, let's say. And out of that, a large portion of them, maybe 15, 16 of them would say, you know what, I just want to be a customer. I'll buy some products from you guys. This looks amazing. These partner stores, I can save some money. You guys have some great quality products. I'll be a customer. It's free. Fantastic. The entrepreneurs, though, they're going to identify themselves. They'll raise their hand and say, pick me. I want to own my own business and I want a proven system to help me get there. And when we identify those 2 best people, we're going to bring them onto the team and we're going to work with Mark and we're going to help Mark do what? apply to be in business. But before he even applies, we're going to help him generate interest from people that Mark knows. I'm going to leverage Mark's connections because Mark knows people we don't know. But guess what? We know how to run the business that Mark don't know how to run. So this is where we're going to make this thing a win-win between all of us. We're going to identify customers. We're going to drive BV and IBV. We're going to drive retail profit for Mark. He's putting in 10 hours a week, and we're going to help him identify his 10 customers to get the ball rolling. We're going to do the exact same thing with Kate, and this is going to start to duplicate with two of the sharpest people we know, not two people that we think need to do something with their life. We don't get to live their life. We don't get to be the judge or jury on anyone's life. I want the people who want to do this business with us, see? And that for me was exciting as we were growing this business. I didn't have to go convince all my friends and family to do this business, but they were not going to convince me that doing this business wasn't going to work and I should just keep my job. Because guess what? I still kept my job. I still worked my job and I didn't give up the security of that job page as I built a residual income until I made enough money to then leave the job if we chose to. See, that's exciting. But that took some effort. That took some sweat equity. Let's shoot people straight on this. And as this duplicates and as it grows, you guys, people are going to lead to people. And we're going to do the same thing with everybody. This is why the system works. Listen, Subway is not successful because it got one great location with one great sub sandwich. Not true. They're successful because they've identified other franchisees who wanted to be partner with Subway sandwich shops. So we do the same thing with the unfranchised as we take on new business partners, and we can produce the same kind of income, actually more income than what one Subway sandwich shop could produce. And then you can grow it from there as well. So that's the way I looked at this. I mean, my brain had to compare it to traditional business. And that's why I love the franchising analogy because it's 100% accurate. And people are going to continue to lead to people. And we're, again, everybody you see in this picture, you guys are business owners. They're unfranchised owners. But with Mark, we're still working 10 hours a week and Mark's identifying 10 customers. What are we going to do with Kate? 10 hours a week and what? 10 customers. And everybody's doing the same. Nobody should be telling somebody else to do something if they're not willing to go first. That's another reason why this is going to duplicate and continue to work. But what's going to happen is you're going to bring your newest partner to the bottom of the team. You might have identified first and foremost Mark and Kate, and then they started leading to people, and they led to people, and they led to people. You know, people are leading to people, but ultimately you might lead to a what? Third person. Well, where are you going to put them in our company? They go to the bottom of the team. And in this case, Matt is our third person that you're bringing onto the team. Matt, this week, we helped Matt identify what? Customers. He had people who wanted the product. That's why we let Matt set up an account because we knew it was going to work. Matt's coming in knowing it's working with us. See, we call this the trial run process, but Matt generates 300 BV in sales to his customers. And what happens? He gets 100% credit for that 300 BV. So does everybody above him. Now, does Matt care if everybody above him got 100% all the way up to the company? And the answer is no, he does not care that everybody got 100% credit as long as he got what? 100% credit for what he sold to customers, which was the 300 BV. This excited me, folks. When I looked at a lot of business system, it was levels and percentages, multi-level marketing, compensation structures, meaning people got paid on levels and percentages. And there is no levels and percentages. It's easy math. Erica sold 300. She's our newest partner over here. And guess what? 300. Everybody gets it. You guys, when I understood this, I could not sleep at night. And then what happened is the senior partner, okay? The senior partner over here, all right, led to another person, and they put Dave underneath your newest partner over here, Matt. You put Dave all the way to the bottom, and what's going to happen is 100% is going to flow up. Everybody gets 100% credit. So if there's no levels, no percentage, no dilution on the effort, in a typical corporate structure, you guys, the person who's newest in the corporate structure, when I was new at the pharmaceutical facility, I was making the what? Least amount of money. And I had to work my way up the corporate pyramid deal. In sales, when you're the newest person in any kind of sales, you're making what? The least amount of money on the sale that was produced. People above you were getting paid a higher percentage of the sale. Multi-level marketing, same exact thing. So with this, there was no dilution. That excited me. Now, this is how those BVs translate into commissions, because I know that's what you guys are all wondering. So when your bank accounts add up and they see 1,200 in BV on the left, 1,200 in BV on the right, the company is going to send you a check for $300. That's the smallest commission check that we send as a company. And that's going to stay in your bank account. Those volume points, okay, are going to stay in your bank account for 365 days from the day that it got purchased, okay? Most sales companies, they have a 30-day volume accrual, a monthly deal. Well, we aren't a fan of that. JR wanted to make this for the average person. So we said, make it everybody's bank account, Mark, Kate, everybody's bank account adds up for 365, provided you're following the system. Provided you are following the Getting Started guide, okay, which is get with the person who invited you and they'll tell you step by step what you got to do. But it's going to keep adding up. When it sees another 1,200 on each side, puts you at 2,400 accumulative. Now you get another check for $300, and it's going to look on top of that. And when it sees another 1,200 up each side, puts you at 3,600, you get another check for $300. And now it looks for 1,400 more up each side, but you get a check. That final commission check is $600. And now total, you made $1,500 in commissions on the blue bank account, which is our BV. Those are our exclusive brands. At the same time BV is adding up, everyone also gets a green bank account. And the green bank account is all of our IBV. This is coming from the partner stores like Home Depot, like Staples, like Bed Bath & Beyond and Groupon and all of that, okay? It's going to add up the same way. 1,200, $300 check. 2,400, another $300 check. 3,600, another $300, and 5,000 for another $600 check for another 1,500 on the green bank account. Now, when you complete the pay cycle of all of those BVs and all of those commissions, then it's going to erase to zero and it's going to start looking for the payout criteria again. Well, how long does that take, Cullen? Well, it took Trinity and I 6.5 months to do this blue bank account, the first time when we were new. This is pre-internet days. This is a handful of products walking uphill both ways in the snow, which all of you in the north are getting ready for. And I know you guys are super excited to be 30 below, full of snow and walking, barefoot, right? But that's what we did. New in Chicago, building, not knowing anything about this and following a proven system. 6.5 months. But then what took us 6.5 months, what happened? Then we did it the third time. The second time it took us four months. And then the third time it went faster again. And then it took us 2.5 months. And each time we went through this pay cycle, folks, it went faster and faster. Why? Because everybody was putting in 10 hours a week and managing their 10 customers. And when I call it the 10-10, keep this thing simple. So 10 and 10, 10 and 10, everybody's putting on 10 and 10. So if everybody's duplicating in a perfect world, all right. And it doesn't need to be perfect because we don't get paid off of people being in our business. We get paid off of helping people generate sales and customers because we get paid on volume, not on people just being in a space in the computer systems, you see. So the frequency of payout is going to keep increasing, you guys, until you go 0 to 5,000, 5,000 every single week. This is what took Trinity and I 2 years to get to where then we were making 1,500 every single week off of our first business center. Okay. Now, if you want to make more than 1,500 a week, 78 grand a year on a business, you can, but you would have to do it by getting a bonus check. And the only way to get a $600 bonus check with our company is by helping one business on your left, one business on your right. It doesn't matter if you personally brought them in the company or not. It could be somebody else led to because the company feels like you're helping coach them. You're helping them make sales, like you're a part of their effort. So in this scenario, we got Mark's bank accounts are full. So he's at least getting his final $600 check at a minimum. He could be getting more than that, but a minimum 600. And you might've led to Kate, who's your sister-in-law. And Kate led to Ann and Ben, who happen to live in Syracuse, New York, upstate New York. But they're dynamite. Ann and Ben, man, they've been looking for a vehicle. They want to be home with their kids. And so they start tearing this thing up, right? And so what happens? Hit 5 and 5. And when it hit 5 and 5, a minimum 600 came to them. So the company says, well, we're going to pay you 600 base pay, but we're also going to give you a bonus check of 600 that week. So your commission that week actually is 1,200 for the week. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever trained anybody at the job or business or whatever you do for a living? I know I did. I trained a lot of people at the pharmaceutical facility and I trained them to be the best maintenance mechanic they could be. exactly how to fix stuff. And I don't ever remember them coming to me at the end of a week, at the end of a month, at the end of the year, for crying out loud, and saying, you've done such an incredible job that we're going to give you a bonus check of some sort. Now, we all got a turkey one year at Thanksgiving. And of course, I'm very grateful for the turkey that I received. However, I would have been really excited about helping people I worked with if I knew there was a $600 weekly bonus check on the line. That's over $30,000 a year income to you, predicated on you helping people make money. That's exciting, folks. Now, some of you are thinking, okay, hey, listen, that's awesome, Cullen. I'm glad you've done great with this company, but is anyone else making money with this company? Who else is making things happen? Who's moving and shaking with this company? And I'm super excited to have a couple of individuals on the line with me here tonight that I would love for you to hear from. And the first person I want to feature down in Fort Myers, Florida, is Jessalea Peterson. Jessalea, are you with me?
I am here. Thank you. That is amazing. I love this business. I think one thing that's I've really grown in my confidence and just inspiring others. That's one thing that's really triggered me with this. If you have any little inkling that this is something you're interested in, definitely just take the leap. I was once told that, and I am so glad that I did. This business has been life-changing for me. We sat here wondering, something that's really been on my heart was wanting to homeschool, and I was wondering, how are we going to do this? And I am so excited that we're doing it this year. So it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And Jessalea is, of course, as you can see on there, she's hitting some challenges with the company. And of course, she's a coordinator with the company, which means she's earning commission checks and rocking it out, making things happen. So thank you so much for being on the line with us tonight. And the next person I would love for everybody to hear from is somebody who's been rocking the business for a few years now. She's actually a supervising coordinator, which means she's earned in excess of $7,500 within a 4-week pay cycle. And that is Jane Santangelo. Jane, are you with me?
I am here. Thank you, Cullen. That was a great job. Great job. So I think for me, the most valuable aspect of the company was really being able to put in place a backup plan. I think that's the thing that was most appealing to me. And we did both. So while we had the practice, we used the products within the practice. They were incredible. We got incredible results with the patients. And so we did it simultaneously. And then lo and behold, 2.5 years ago, we moved down to Florida. We retired, semi-retired for me, because I just love the business. I love helping people. But I think that was probably the most valuable aspect of it, was to create that backup plan, which then created a residual income.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being on the line with us here tonight. Appreciate that. And last but not least, the next person that I'd like to feature is someone who is a director with our company and somebody that we've built very closely with for a very, very long time. Think very, very highly of this person, but they've hit in excess of $18,000 in commissions within a 4-week pay cycle. And that is Melanie Nelson.
Hey, everyone. Hey, great job, Cullen. Thank you so much for doing such an amazing job of explaining the business. I started out as the negative spouse in the house. I was very skeptical. I didn't want anything to do with it. So if you're on the line and you're like, I don't understand this, I don't know, that, just know I was one of those people. And it took me a few times seeing it. Thankfully, my husband was very patient and understanding with me and, letting me come around. And really the power of it when it hits you, I just couldn't sleep at night when it hit me, when I understood it, when I saw the power of creating residual income. And one of the things that was very important to me at a young age was creating financial freedom, creating a life where I didn't have to work 45 years of my life, spending the best months, weeks, and days and hours of the day working for someone else or doing something I didn't enjoy. And freedom was one of my number one priorities. And so when I finally understood that that's exactly what this could create for somebody who was coachable and had a goal, I was, guns a-blazing, right? And in a few short years, just has completely transformed our life. So once we earned 6 figures, we've never not earned 6 figures. Once we started earning weekly, we've never not earned weekly. That's how residual this can be. Even if you just want an extra $300 a month, it doesn't matter what your goals. And so I just want to say congratulations to everybody's on the line here taking a look at this. And I just encourage you to take the next step. Thanks for having me, Cullen. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the line with us as well, Melanie. And look, all of you that are on the line learning tonight, you're probably thinking, hey, can this work for me? Is it right for me? And look, you're the only one who gets to choose. The one guarantee is if you don't try anything, then everything is going to stay the same. So I got a few suggestions for everybody. Number one, you want to look at this at least 3 times. The more I had to look at it, I looked at it probably like 15 times in like a 2-week period. And this was all like on paper. Again, pre-internet days back in the day. I mean, I just kept diving in, kept looking. I was a nerd getting out the calculator, really trying to understand the math on everything and really truly know that this was different. But next Tuesday, we are fortunate to be able to have Connie Kang on the line with us. She's somebody who's really moving and shaking. She's a professional coordinator, which means she's earned in excess of $4,500 to $7,500 in a 4-week pay cycle. But she went from a really a high-level corporate job, but I'm sure it was high stress, to a like, hey, I want to be, stay-at-home mom, and I want to be able to have my time be my time. And so she's going to share this business system next Tuesday. So I definitely would recommend everybody check that out. Also, this is going to be probably the most important thing I'm going to recommend to everybody that's on the line here tonight. This is the next training we have happening in the Southeast region. We have one training coming up in the Southeast here in October, and it's going to be on October 17th. We have none other than supervising coordinator Rebecca and Dr. Joseph Carfee. Okay, so they're the big picture on there. They're going to be the lead trainers on our upcoming training. Now, they just won an award at our international conference we had this past month as the top Nutrimetrics, which is our health professional division. I didn't have time to get into that tonight, but they won that award as the top health professional within the field. And so not only do they know how to move these products and help a lot of patients that they have, but I know Rebecca works with a lot of people who are not their patients. And so they know how to build this business to a T, and they're going to be there on this training on October 17th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we're going to have some other guests who are joining us on the line who are not from our region. So we're going to have Lisa Grant. Lisa Grant is a field vice president, which means she's earned in excess of $36,000 in a 4-week pay cycle. Tom Holden is an executive director, which means he's earned in excess of $25,000 in a 4-week pay cycle. And then Phil Guido, and I probably should say that, Lisa Grant worked for a family. Her family, I should say, worked for a family. She worked for her family, her parents, and they had a small engine shop. So lawnmowers, trimmers, things like that. And that's what her family owned when she got introduced to this business, and she was pregnant at the time, and just was like, man, if this could help me, be the mom and not have to worry about showing up to the family business all the time. And so she built it. Tom Holden was, I think, living out of his car at the time, but kind of like a jack of all, master of none as well. And just school of hard knocks, had some rough things happen in his life. And, he was at the end of his rope and just looking for a better way. And then you go all the way to the other end of the spectrum, and you got Phil Guido, who is a pharmacist, who owned his own standalone pharmacy in Long Island, New York, when he got introduced to this. Like, no time, up to his eyeballs in work, and always missing his family stuff. But see, that's why he looked, because he was always missing Sue and their kids' family events. And so he says, you know what, maybe this can work. And then he built it to field vice president, which is $36,000 in a 4-week pay cycle. So all of this is coming together for one training, 9 to 3. And what I'm going to ask you guys is, and it should be in the chat, everybody, if you look in the chat, there should be a link to this training. And I'm going to highly suggest, especially for those of you who are on the guests, this might be the first time that you're hearing about it. Click on that link and invest $15. Don't even worry about $429.95, but at least invest $15 on a Saturday and come to one of our trainings. I will guarantee you something. You are going to learn some things that you would steal in a good way, and use in your life, use in your business, use in your workplace. It's going to make you more valuable in the marketplace. I guarantee our training will. Also, though, it's going to answer questions you have around what does it take to build a successful unfranchise. And so you plug into that. But if you want to take it to the next level, you're going to get with the person who invited you and say, I bought my ticket for $15, but if I understand this correctly, and Cullen explained it halfway well, then I probably would want some people I trust and respect to come to this training with me. And you're not going to just invite them to the training. They would need to do what you have done, which is what? Evaluate who we are and what we're about and what we're doing. And then they jump on to learn more about this on a Zoom, just like you did at the first look, let's say, and then they come to a second viewing of the business or something. Then all of a sudden they come to a product, something, and then they love that. And then they say, I'll go to that training. And then they're the same boat you are. But you could be showing up to that training with a few people with you that may be in a position like I was when I went to my first training. People say, I'm doing this with or without you, Haskins. And I knew I had identified the right people. See, that's the smartest way to do this. Okay. And then also, I want everybody to at least put this in your calendar. We have our regional convention coming up. This is an annual event that we do. Only happens one time a year. And it's coming up on November 21st, 22nd, 2020. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I've been on a lot of these planning calls, and the people, Melanie, who you heard from tonight, she's going to be one of the featured speakers doing a segment at that seminar at the regional. But first step is go to the local 9 to 3. Go to a one day Saturday 9 to 3. This, as you can tell, are longer days in a 2-day event, but it's only a $40 investment versus 15. But we're going to deliver a lot more because we have a lot more time. That's the only way to put this, okay? But regional convention is going to be fabulous. Like I said, make sure you just get that in your calendar. And last but not least, the person who invited you on the line, say, hey, send me that app, send me the product link or whatever, show me how that app works, and you know, fill out the home shopping list, check out our products. And I just want to thank everybody for being on the line with us here tonight. And again, thanking you for trusting us with your time, okay? Everybody have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much, Cullen, for presenting for us tonight, and to all of our panelists for sharing a little bit of your story. And again, just one last thing to reiterate, book a follow-up, see the business again 2 or 3 times. And with that, bid you farewell. Have a great night. God bless you guys. Enjoy your week.